Welcome back to What If Cars. The moment it emerged from the hangar, cloaked in silence and sunlight, I forgot everything I thought I knew about Chrysler. The badge was familiar, but nothing else was. It stood there, the 2026 Chrysler 300 SRT SUV, unofficial, unapologetic, as if it had been carved from the very bones of American ambition. White as stormlight, sharp as memory. This wasn't just a concept SUV. It was Chrysler whispering back into a world that forgot how loud Detroit could roar. Not with volume, but with presence. A quiet kind of fury. I wasn't ready. No one was. Because Chrysler didn't evolve the 300 into an SUV. It rebirthed it. Took the muscle DNA of the SRT lineage, the presidential swagger of the original 300, and fused them with something ethereal, a design language that felt like cyberpunk Americana. One glance and you understood. This SUV wasn't chasing competition, it was chasing legacy. But instead of drawing from the past, it launched a white-hot spear straight into the future. The color isn't white in the traditional sense. Chrysler calls it Obsidian Frost, a multi-layered pearl finish with crystalline flake and liquid satin clear coat. It absorbs shadow and rejects glare, glowing softly under moonlight and flaring like brushed platinum under the sun. Paired with impossibly black shadowline accents, the SUV carries a duality. Elegance on one end, threat on the other. From the front, it stares at you with a kind of stoic violence. The grille is brutal, wide, gunmetal trimmed, yet free of chrome. Just deep, dimensional mesh, flanked by slimline LED slits that resemble falcon eyes. The hood is sculpted with a centerline bulge, a subtle nod to the original Hemi V8s, but it's leaner now, more predator, less brute. And then the profile hits you. The roofline flows like a coupe, not an SUV. There are no harsh brakes, no clunky proportions. The side glass is stretched, frameless, and tinted so deeply it almost disappears into the body. The shoulder line, it doesn't cut, it glides, rising ever so slightly toward the rear fenders, which flare outward like the stance of a fighter. Even parked, it looks like it's about to shift its weight and sprint. The rear is something else entirely. Forget every Chrysler tale you've seen. The 2026 300 SRT SUV reimagines it with a full-width LED spine, bleeding red light that pulses with motion. Integrated quad tips sit within a forged carbon diffuser, and the hatch badge is flush, lit softly from behind like the glow of a sleeping dragon's eye. The rear glass is one continuous arc, wrapping so far it becomes part of the side profile, blending roof and pillar into a seamless sculpture. It doesn't look like something built. It looks grown. Open the doors, and the atmosphere shifts. You're not inside a cabin, you're inside an event. The interior is a masterclass in material duality. Obsidian suede meets lunar pearl leather, stitched in crimson thread that curves like a heartbeat across the dashboard. The dash itself is monolithic, not broken into layers, but curved like the inside of a space capsule. Everything flows. Everything surrounds. The steering interface is familiar in shape, but its texture is unfamiliar, wrapped in a haptic responsive material that warms to touch and changes feel based on drive mode. There are no traditional dials, just a panoramic display that curves across the entire dash under a single sheet of sapphire glass. But it's not information overload, it's information orchestrated. Only what you need when you need it. No distractions, no noise. The center tunnel floats, literally, suspended between the seats like a bridge with ambient lighting that flows like water beneath it. There's a crystal-top rotary gear selector that glows with your pulse, a wireless charging platform trimmed in frosted aluminum, and above, a panoramic roof that can simulate 3 different skies, clear, overcast, or star-filled, depending on your mood. It doesn't just look incredible, it feels like science fiction written in leather. The seats, sculpted like something from a hypercar, heavily bolstered, ultra-thin, and surprisingly soft, with a memory foam core and embedded micro actuators that adjust posture automatically based on your drive time and spine alignment. Even the rear passengers aren't left out. Their seats recline, their headrests pulse with ambient sound, and they have their own curved glass panels on the back of the front seats. Not for movies, but for mood. Swipe up for warmth, swipe sideways for calm, tap twice to close out the world. But a Chrysler SRT has to earn more than design praise. It has to move like thunder, and this one does. Gone is the naturally aspirated V8, but its spirit lives on in a twin-turbo V6 hybrid drivetrain paired with an axial electric motor on each axle. Total system output, 890 horsepower. Torque vectoring is instantaneous, 0 to 60, 3.1 seconds. But numbers won't prepare you for how it feels, because it doesn't launch like a Hellcat. It surges, smoothly, deeply, like a wave being pulled into existence by gravity itself. There's no wheel spin, no drama, just surge, like a storm gathering in your bloodstream. And the sound, oh the sound, not piped in, not artificial, but composed. Chrysler worked with studio engineers to tune an active soundscape. Inside, you get a low heartbeat-like resonance from the seatback channels. Outside, the exhaust emits a split tone, a muted thunder at idle, a banshee wail under load. It's controlled fury, a concert of combustion and coil. The handling is tight, real tight. The adaptive suspension reads the road surface 1,000 times per second. It predicts potholes. It tenses for curves. It leans in when you turn. Not out of necessity, but for pleasure. You can push it through a mountain switchback, and it doesn't complain. It celebrates. The odd system constantly shifts power front to rear, left to right, always chasing balance, always choosing beauty over brutality. There are 3 drive modes: Ghost, Fury, and Dynasty. In Ghost, everything softens. The ride is silent. The cabin lights shift to blue. Steering is light, throttle is gentle, and the entire vehicle becomes a gliding apparition. In Fury, the beast is awake. The dash glows red, the engine primes for battle, and your seat hugs you tighter. This is SRT heritage refined, not crude but conscious. And in Dynasty, the vehicle becomes regal. Ambient cello music, darkened glass, smooth acceleration. The car even dims notifications. Because you are no longer rushing, you are arriving. Chrysler says they'll never build it, that this is just a whisper, a concept. But when you drive it, when you touch the wheel, when the Obsidian Frost finish mirrors the sky as the LED spine pulses behind you, you feel it in your bones. They should, because this isn't a future SUV. It's a monument, a statement in steel and spirit, a reminder that American luxury can still be dangerous, that elegance can still have edge, and that sometimes a legend isn't reinvented, it's resurrected. This is the 2026 Chrysler 300 SRT SUV, white as prophecy, sharp as fate, and it didn't come to follow, it came to lead.